Story 1. Bait posts appear on social media, often accompanied by provocative titles. I am starting to call them out when I see them, and everyone should. Story 2. Liberty Mutual commercials are everywhere. They appear in every YouTube video and television show I watch. I will never buy this insurance. Fuck you, Doug and Emu. Story 3. There are ultra-bright headlights on cars. I travel to work early in the morning before sunrise, and sometimes I feel like I'm being scanned by the vehicle behind me and blinded by the oncoming vehicle at the same time. More regulation on this is needed. Story 4. Words are being pluralized with apostrophes. I do not know why it is so common lately, but I am constantly seeing examples like bodies of water and painting my walls. I am usually good at reading grammar and spelling errors, but the apostrophe throws me off every time, and it is driving me nuts. Story 5. Obvious engagement farming. Stop misspelling things on purpose. I do not care that the last thing on this list will shock me. No, insert politician did not actually say that. I will not prove I watched to the end by posting your catchphrase in the comments. I will not look up this random word on TikTok. My future spouse is not the third person I tag when I share. Fuck so far off. Story 6. Young kids are becoming rich and famous on TikTok while contributing nothing to the planet, often harassing other people for views. Story 7. If your company uses artificial intelligence and it is avoidable, I have not bought anything from you in over a year. Story 8. Emails stating moving forward with someone else when you have been searching for a job for 6 months. Story 9. Fucking political stuff, man. Try as I might, I cannot turn on the television, YouTube, Reddit, or other platforms without seeing something involving politics, usually from the United States. I miss the days of my youth in the 90s when politicians were mostly boring people. Story 10. Game advertisements that look fun but do not resemble the actual game, and games that are full of advertisements are very annoying. Story 11. Entitled people with no spatial awareness. They pull out in front of me, forcing me to slam on the brakes, then drive 10 to 15 miles under the speed limit and back up traffic. They do not maintain a consistent speed and tap their brakes often. They park a shopping cart in the middle of the aisle so no one can get through, stand in the doorway looking at a receipt, and spread out when I try to pass them in the parking lot. They do not notice that I was backing out before they arrived or that I have the right of way at the exit. Story 12. People who have no manners and are actively terrible for no reason. Story 13. The federal government is violating civil rights, engaging in blatant market manipulation and insider trading, criminalizing citizens, dehumanizing minorities, orchestrating election schemes, and setting the stage for military occupation of its own citizens. Story 14. Everything is being made so cheaply now, nothing lasts anymore. Story 15. I dislike holiday commercials that promote sappy consumerism, like the ones where a father steps outside on a pristine, snowy Christmas morning to find a new car with a bow on it. The Jared jewelry commercials are extremely annoying. Story 16. Ads pop up when I'm trying to play games on my phone and I cannot get the game back. Story 17. Technically, I am hearing, not seeing, but I am in high school and really sick of people saying 6 to 7. Story 18. In no particular order. 1. Ads on Major League Baseball jerseys and helmets. 2. Cybertrucks. 3. Road construction. 4. Mentions of Donald Trump, including his name, image, and appearances on signs, hats, stickers, news, or other media. 5. People in military dress harassing civilians, allegedly sent by Donald Trump. Story 19. When two people are in a car talking and the driver stares at the passenger while speaking, the driver takes their eyes off the road for too long. Story 20. Public pranks in which the prankster essentially commits a crime and then calls it a prank. Jokes that are not funny and are racist, sexist, or otherwise offensive. It is not a joke if no one is laughing. Story 21. A student at my school thinks that the things he says help people, but they are actually unhelpful and annoying. Story 22. People throw the word narcissist around. It's lost all meaning. Story 23. Light-emitting diode headlights. How are these things not illegal? Half the time I can't see the road ahead when another vehicle is passing. It's not that I have bad eyesight. They are just unnecessarily bright. Story 24. Headlines that make me worry about my safety and that of my friends. Story 25. No Confederate flags anywhere outside a museum or reenactment. Story 26. Websites that say, "We value your privacy." Disable ad blocker. Subscribe to our newsletter. Allow notifications. Open in the app. The article is a screenshot of a tweet. Story 27. The top 0.1% are not being held accountable for any of their actions. Story 28. Evil goes unpunished, and there is a growing acceptance and apathy toward it. Story 29. I have Elon Musk blocked on all my social media, yet I still see him everywhere. He is the most annoying person on the planet. Story 30. Since when did we decide that casual racism on the internet and in real life was cool? Story 31. Anything related to Charlie Kirk, the conspiracies, the Starbucks order drama, the martyring, and so on. Just shut the hell up. Story 32. Bots on Reddit are making racist comments and upvoting them, particularly in British subreddits. Story 33. People who post their workout routines on social media. Nobody cares. Story 34. A lot of content is being pushed constantly through social media algorithms. Look, make your money however you want, but do not interrupt my music feed with twerking and strange child face filters. I never seek out such content, yet it still appears. It is also highly concerning that younger generations are inundated with pornography on a daily basis. Story 35. Since most of the obvious ones have been mentioned, unexpected events in general. For the last 5 years we have had one crazy thing after another. A worldwide pandemic, economic meltdowns, authoritarian governments taking power and rolling back rights and regulations, inventions putting thousands of people out of work, horrendous crimes and attacks, and sudden wars breaking out in places that were at least somewhat more peaceful in the past. Everything feels like unprecedented times, and I would like a year when that is not the case. A year when everything is business as usual, institutions function as they always have, and politics is boring again. Story 36. By accident. I do not know how or why this has become a thing. Story 37. People who defend the dismantling of the United States government and who bootlick a demented pedophile, fascist crook are included. That includes those who say both sides are the same. Story 38. It physically hurts me to see trends that last exactly 4 days, but society treats them as a new religion. Story 39. Instagram's hyper-filtered images and face filters on social media look ridiculous. Story 40. People who behave badly and take advantage are getting ahead in life, especially financially, while good people are struggling. Story 41. People posting idiotic comments justifying Charlie Kirk's death. The man held views I did not agree with, but if someone told you, "I am glad a family member of yours is dead and deserved it," you would not be all sunshine and rainbows. Story 42. Pets are everywhere in places designed for people. People bring pets to restaurants, grocery stores, breweries, and coffee shops. It is unpleasant. If an animal is not a true service animal, leave it at home. You can go 2 hours without your dog. And no, I do not want to pet it. Story 43. Dogs are everywhere. Restaurants, medical offices, shopping malls, school campuses, and so on. Story 44. Artificial intelligence slop, bots, and the people who try to justify it. Story 45. There has been a lot of severe animal cruelty in my city over the past year. It has seriously damaged my mental health. Story 46. Generative AI is everywhere, destroying everything, but I'm the bad guy for being angry about it. Eat my whole ass. Story 47. Fake coaches who try to sell a course and claim they make $700,000 per month do not make $10 million a year and sell low-quality Canva-made courses. Story 48. Speeding and tailgating are dangerous. I am already in the right lane, driving slightly over the limit. If you choose to endanger yourself and others, that is your responsibility, but I want to get home safely and avoid an exorbitant ticket. Either go around me or stop tailgating. Do not make it my problem by risking a rear-end collision. Story 49. I am tired of women on TikTok showing their floppy breasts before promoting a bra they are trying to sell, and of people trying on new shorts in front of everyone. They stand there saying, "Look at my breasts in this bra." Story 50. People on my television are cheerfully dancing and singing about how much fun it is to have diabetes. Story 51. The English flag. I should not feel that way about it, but it is displayed for all the wrong reasons these days. Story 52. People who are cynical and contrarian for the sake of it always comment on everything and pick it apart, even the simplest things. Nothing you say is accepted. They respond with phrases such as "well, actually," and so on. Story 53. Negativity is everywhere. It's in the news, on social media, and at work. Come on, humanity. Be a little more optimistic. Story 54. Septum piercings are, in my opinion, the most unattractive thing a person can do. Story 55. Diaper stain and the clown crew are in the news every day. Story 56. So many faces are being transformed beyond recognition. I miss genetic variety. Story 57. Those awful mobile game ads are everywhere. The ads are completely different from the actual games, but both the ads and the games are terrible. Why do the worst games get the most ads while many great games do not? I can't stand this. Those ads infuriate me. Story 58. Artificial intelligence produces sloppy results. It is easy to tell when people use artificial intelligence to fix their writing or even as their main source of information. I am so tired of confirmation bias. Story 59. I am sick of seeing people in their cars driving around as if isolation inside their vehicle makes them immune to the requirements of decent social behavior. I try to be a reasonable driver and obey traffic laws, including bylaws and the Highway Traffic Act. I am not perfect, but I make an effort because driving can be dangerous if you do not operate your vehicle with care and concern for others. I am tired of people who deliberately break simple rules, eroding any sense of safety and driving as if it were a contest to be the biggest bully, protected behind glass and steel. I do not condone road rage, but I can understand why some people, after being treated harshly, get out of their cars to confront the person who treated them like garbage. It never looks good and is harmful, but I can sympathize in some cases. I am fed up with people hiding in their vehicles and treating others with disrespect and callousness. Story 60. Nigel Farage appears everywhere in the news and on social media feeds. Story 61. All the "you're not lazy, you probably have adult attention deficit hyperactivity disorder" ads. No, I'm lazy, and I already know I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Story 62. Rambling, incoherent speeches by people in power reported as though they were cohesive, legible, and normal. Story 63. The game shows advertisements while I am trying to play on my phone. Story 64. Grass lawns are large areas planted with a non-native monoculture, mowed extremely short and frequently treated with chemicals, leaving the land virtually devoid of health and biological activity. Story 65. Artificial intelligence ads on YouTube Shorts. No, I do not care if Tai Chi walking will make me stronger. Story 66. I'll tell you what I'm sick of hearing. My dumb, uneducated "Make America Great Again" uncle confidently claiming things that are verifiably wrong as the truth with absolutely no evidence. Story 67. Artificial intelligence is everywhere. Ask Grok or ask ChatGPT. Stop destroying the planet for bullshit. Story 68. There are racist posts all over social media advocating hate and violence. I am in the United Kingdom, and I am sick of seeing roundabouts painted with the flag of England, flags on houses, and flags tied to lampposts. These people claim they are advocating against immigrants, but all they are doing is showing that they are completely uneducated twats who have no idea what is going on in our country at this point. They just want a reason to act like yobs. Sorry. Rant over. Story 69. The masks men wear hide their insecurities and false beliefs about who deserves to live in a free country. Story 70. My child's homework is in his folder. He completes assignments and brings them home, but he often forgets to turn them in. He has documented supports at school intended to help him submit work for each class. Yet there are still assignments weeks old in his folder. When he finally turns them in, they are so late, They receive no credit and he is failing multiple classes. When I ask teachers in preparation for an individualized education program meeting to plan school supports and services, which supports he is receiving and which are effective, they say the teacher is aware and works hard but do not provide specific information. Story 71. Sorry, I can't help create content that insults a protected group. I can help rephrase it in a non-offensive way, displaying religious symbols, such as crosses, to openly identify one's faith can make some people uncomfortable. Story 72. Anything related to that deranged, traitorous, narcissistic, egotistical, lying, hypocritical, bigoted, bullying Orange Cheeto currently occupying the White House, or any of his devoted cult followers. Story 73. Donald Trump and friends. School shootings. People who refuse to help others. Story 74. Brazilian but lifts and hatred toward black women. White men complaining that they are being discriminated against. Plastic surgery. Story 75. That self-important asshole with the orange makeup on his face. Story 76. People insert politics, especially Donald Trump, into every thread when it's not relevant. A lot of the time it doesn't even make sense. On Reddit someone asked what is the best way to make toast. A reply claimed Donald Trump has made it so they cannot afford bread, said white bread is for fascists, asserted that only white people voted for Donald Trump, and suggested that mostly white fascists eat toast. Story 77. Trump's stupid, fucking but whole mouth spews lies and hatred. Story 78. Commercials used to be funnier, but now they are TikTok-style garbage like Liberty Mutual commercials. It is not funny and needs to stop. Story 79. Artificial intelligence ghostface edits made me realize that most people are not very interesting and have nothing to do. Story 80. People who use AI for stupid things like the ghostface trend are wasting resources and insulting art. Story 81. Politics is in everything. New vehicles have extremely bright headlights. People use abbreviations in text messages, comments, and posts. Story 82. YouTube thumbnails are used to attract more views and earn more money because the platform is an unstable career choice. Story 83. YouTube titles that overhype content to ridiculous degrees. Story 84. Children are getting body modifications such as buttock lifts and lip fillers, ruining their bodies before they can even mature. Shaking my head. Story 85. 1. Anything to do with Temu is a blight on this earth. 2. The word girly. 3. White crew socks over leggings. Story 86. Time for me to hit the hay. It is 1 in the morning in England and I am riding out a storm. Story 87. People are getting into fights and do not know when to stop. Everyone and their friends try to get a hit in. What happened to good old-fashioned fisticuffs? Story 88. I live in Australia, and for months the mushroom murder story has been everywhere. Now the suspect has a documentary as well. I am so sick of it. Yes, she killed some people, but I do not need updates that the jury has not reached a verdict after 2 hours of deliberation. The news coverage was over the top, and they are calling her Australia's worst killer. We have had other notorious serial killers. Story 89. People leave their houses half naked. It seems no one knows how to dress for the occasion. All these TikTok trends and office siren nonsense are disrespectful to others. Story 90. Man, I would hate to see yet another pair of women's breasts. Yuck. Story 91. Those fake podcast ads are just someone reading a teleprompter or doing multiple takes, essentially an ad read. They are not real podcasts, just creating the illusion that people actually care about the product enough for it to be featured. Story 92. I've seen that bitch every day of my life. It's getting a bit boring. Story 93. Ads, artificial intelligence, and people who think they are incredibly knowledgeable about a topic they know nothing about. Story 94. I'm tired of seeing baller on Discord. I'm going to leave it there. Story 95. Honestly, the first thing that popped into my head was this stupid fucking trend of dudes wearing short shorts. I hope that shit dies very soon. Story 96. Everything on social media at this point. Political slop, misinformation and people who believe it, bigotry and ads. It is so bleak. Story 97. Not you, because this post is different, but I hate reposts of the same damn question in someone else's post just because it went viral. It's stupid to change one or two words from the original and think people won't recognize it. I also stay off AskReddit so I don't have to see it happening. Story 98. That burn a less lethal weapon ad shows people walking around with bananas. What the heck? Story 99. Those corny YouTube still and cover images for nothing burger videos. The title always has random capitalized words too. Something like "you won't believe what he did next." The cover image will show some dopey, self-professed YouTube true crime sleuth looking horrified and clutching their pearls in perfect lighting and the ideal zoom angle. Give me a break. Story 100. The YouTube clickbait saying this will destroy Trump with a big arrow pointing at his shocked face appears in almost every video these days. A normal headline without the staged photo would stand out. Story 101. I am sick of school-aged kids being everywhere. I understand school holidays. But why the fuck are you wandering around the city on a Wednesday morning? Story 102. Extremism, politics, and people forcing their opinions as facts. Story 103. Filtered TikTok creators staring intensely at themselves while poorly lip-syncing. Story 104. Artificial intelligence is included in product updates. I do not even have the option. I am shaking my head. Story 105. My phone is a necessary tool in my professional and social life, but I hate it. Story 106. Bows and cherries on all women's fashion right now. It is my biggest microtrend pet peeve at the moment. I don't mind either, but so many stores, especially the fast fashion ones like Forever 21, do it in horribly ugly ways. Who the fuck actually wants a cheap polyester thin sweater with shoddy little ribbons glued on in a grid? The ugliest way to haphazardly stick bows onto fabric. The printed ones bother me even more. I like Playboy as a fashion brand. I don't care for the magazines or other things they do, but the clothes are cute and it's one of the best brands I can find for affordable hot pink clothes in the style I like. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to find cute items from them in the mall because all I ever find are pajamas that have bows and cherries, mixed with the logo in a way that doesn't make much sense. Or, if not Playboy, cherries are on every other Playboy-adjacent clothing item I can find in the same stores. It was cute for like 2 weeks, but then every fashion brand jumped on it and now it's everywhere. The cherries and bows don't even match the theme of the outfit. Why are they on Halloween pumpkin murder pajamas? I hate the bows and cherries. I hate this entire microtrend. Story 107. Commercials about buying houses drive me nuts. Story 108. Just give them possessives in your mind. The body's favorite drink is water. I'm painting my walls skin. Story 109. The constant wave of open-mouthed expressions on social media posts and videos is extremely annoying. Story 110. After clicking the YouTube Shorts show fewer shorts button 100 times, just go away already. Story 111. LinkedIn is devolving into X, formerly Twitter, for job seekers. Story 112. Tripods in the gym. When did Planet Fitness become the backlit of Universal Studios? Story 113. Eternal questions about who or what is best, what is underrated, what is overrated, and tier lists are, in my opinion, just a huge waste of time and energy. Whether you like them or not, do you really need someone else's opinion to form a feeling about something? Story 114. I dislike recipe rage bait videos that encourage wasting food. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.